Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down the really complex web of global conflict by taking a deep look at Russia's strategic thinking and, just as importantly, how the rest of the world is scrambling to respond.
Okay, let's just jump right in with the big one. It's a question you hear a lot these days, but the answer isn't a simple yes or no. You see, what a lot of analysts are saying is that we're not looking at a single Big Bang global war. We're looking at something totally new, and honestly, a lot more complicated.
So instead of thinking about a traditional world war, it's better to think of what we're in as a new warfare structure. Picture it like this: an interconnected global system of grinding attritional warfare, constant hybrid attacks, and proxy conflicts all over the globe. The violence can be out in the open one day and deep in the shadows the next. It's a state of, well, permanent confrontation.
To really get our heads around this, let's look at how Russia itself defines conflict. This chart, it's right out of their military doctrine, shows this whole spectrum of escalation. So if you look over on the left, it all starts with military danger. Then, as you follow those arrows to the right, it ratchets up to military threat, and then into different stages of actual armed conflict. The big takeaway here? For Moscow, there's no clear, bright line between peace and war. It's just a fluid skill of confrontation.
To really understand this new era, we absolutely have to get inside the strategic mind of a central player: Russia. And for Russia, you really can't separate its strategy from the map itself.
I mean, for Russia, maybe more than any other country on Earth, its immense and, frankly, challenging geography has always been the main driver shaping its national character, its deepest fears, and its entire foreign policy. Just think about it for a second. Russia is basically a giant fortress, but with no natural walls. You've got these vast plains, which are basically an open highway for any invasion coming from the west. It has very limited access to warm water ports, which creates these strategic choke points that other powers can threaten to squeeze. And get this, it spans 11 time zones. Just trying to maintain central control is a constant struggle. All of this has forged this deep-seated national psyche of vulnerability, this historic fear of being surrounded and choked off. And you can see that here spelled out, word for word, in its official strategy documents. This quote right here from its 2021 National Security Strategy is so telling. It's not seeing NATO as a defensive club. No, it's seeing it as this aggressive military force setting up camp right on its border, and it views that as a direct and growing threat. So the big question is, how does Russia's military doctrine actually plan to deal with what it sees as this, existential threat? The answer is a concept they call active defense. Active defense is really Russia's core strategy. And here's the key thing to get. Victory isn't about capturing cities or planting flags, not at all. The real goal is to disorganize your opponent, to wreck their ability, and their will to keep fighting. It's all about preventing them from landing a knockout blow early in a war. It's about attrition. So what is the nightmare scenario for Russia? Well, this diagram, straight from one of their own military journals, lays it all out. It shows what they fear most: a massive, multi-wave aerospace attack from the US. It starts on the right with hypersonic and cruise missiles, then it moves left through wave after wave of drones and jets. This whole thing, this is their worst nightmare, a high-tech blitz designed to paralyze them before they can even get their boots on. And right here you see their response. I mean, you can literally draw a straight line from the threat they're worried about on the last slide to the weapons they're building right here. Hypersonic missiles, next-gen drones, systems designed specifically to defeat missile defenses. It's all part of this threat response logic. It's about countering what they see as the West's biggest advantages. Okay, so this is absolutely crucial to understand. For Russia, deterrence is not some dusty policy where you have nukes and just hope you never have to use them. No, it's a 24/7 active thing. It mixes military power with non-military tools. We're talking cyber attacks, economic pressure, to deter an opponent and control how a crisis escalates, even during what the rest of us would just call peacetime. Okay, so we've seen Russia's perspective, but this doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? The world is responding, and it's redrawing the entire geopolitical map as we speak. This slide really shows a fascinating contrast in how the world is lining up.
On one side, you've got the Russia-China partnership. It's flexible, it's transactional, and it's built on a shared anti-US stance. It's more of a the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of vibe, without binding promises. Then you've got NATO. It's formal, it's institutional, and it's all built around that ironclad Article 5 promise. An attack on one is an attack on all. Two completely different ways of building power.
And this quote, wow, it really captures the mood in the West right now. There's this dawning recognition that the game has totally changed, and it demands the biggest strategic rethink they've had since the Cold War.
And that's not just talk. You can see the shift right here in the UK's new NATO first policy. It's all about putting the alliance first, moving to a posture where you're ready to fight a major war, and, frankly, rebuilding military strength that's been worn down over the years. It's a total change in mindset. And to put their money where their mouth is, the UK has committed to bumping up defense spending to 2.5% of its entire economic output. That's a huge, tangible signal that they believe we're in a new, more dangerous reality.
So what does this new landscape of constant competition actually look like on the ground, day to day? Well, a lot of the time, it's fought in the shadows.
Think of this as the new toolkit for hybrid conflict. First, you hit them with disinformation and cyber attacks to create chaos. Then, you use deniable actors, patriotic hackers, private military companies. Next, you squeeze them economically, weaponizing things like energy supplies. And finally, you get into sabotage, damaging things like undersea cables, all while being able to say, hey, wasn't us.
And you've got to remember, this isn't just about one region. It really is a global chessboard. A move in Ukraine sends ripples through the Middle East, which then changes the game in the Indo-Pacific. These flashpoints are all linked, creating this incredibly complex and volatile world where the big powers are competing in multiple places all at once.
And all of this leaves us with one final and pretty unsettling question to think about. As the old rules of conflict get tossed aside and these new tactics take over, are we living in a new age where that clear line between peace and war has just disappeared for good?